Earlier we talked about printing out strings, printing out integers, using math operators to print out those integers. In this case, what the question is asking is to print out different data types using one Python command. And the one Python command we're going to use here is print. Right? Now the question here is, how do I print the number 5 and a string? Right? Let's say I am a 5. And a floating point number. Right? How do you do all of these things using one command? Right? Well, we learned earlier about how to print two separate strings on one command. And we do that using the plus sign. Right? I could do world. And if I go ahead and do that and I run it, you can see here when you have a plus sign dealing with two strings, it acts as a string concatenator. And so string concatenator, right? And what does concatenator mean? Well, it means it connects this string with this string and creates one string out of them. So it's the same as doing this, right? And of course you can keep on adding additional strings if you want, as many as you want, and it will print it out, or I'm sorry, I gotta erase that, but it will print it out and it'll just like stick them all together like Lego pieces, right? And why? Because the plus sign is a concatenator when you're dealing with strings. So we cannot use the concatenator if we're dealing with, like, say, a different data type like an integer. I run it, it's going to break, right? And the error message is pretty clear: cannot concatenate string and integer objects. Right? So here's a string, here's an integer, can't concatenate. You can concatenate two strings together, right? So what we can do is we call it typecast this value as a string, right? What does that mean? It means it's turning it from an integer data type into a string data type. Right? So it's no longer the number 5, but it is the word 5, right? The string 5. And how do you do that? We do str around it, right? And then we can concatenate that 5. And we could also concatenate a floating point number the exact same way by saying 7.853, right? And so what is that going to do? Well, I print it out and it concatenates the string hello with the string 5 with the string 7.568567. Right? So what we're doing here is we're converting these guys into strings. Now you could do this with string, right? But going from word to integer would be a problem if I went like this. Let's go ahead and try that out and see if we're able to go from string to integer, right? And so we cannot do that. So you can go from integer to string very easily, but to go from string to integer, the string needs to be a number. Okay, so now it prints out the number 567. So this typecasting is useful when you're trying to print everything in one Python command, because you could typecast as a string. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the typecasting into an int as we progress through the curriculum.